Most of Africa's present troubles stem from the colonial era, as the Europeans conquered and divided Africa up amongst themselves to extract her wealth. The land that had been forcibly taken away from the Africans was used for farming, mining, trade, and the establishment of game parks to view animals in their natural habitat. In Tanzania, customary land rights were in some cases respected. The designation of Serengeti Park in 1940 allowed the Maasai to stay in the area. However, in 1958, an agreement was made resulting in the removal of 40,000 Maasai from the Serengeti to Ngorongoro Crater, the eighth wonder of the world, in exchange for access to water and grazing rights. Mounting pressures from international wildlife interests and government intrusion in 1973 led to the violation of that agreement, and all but a few Maasai were banished to remote, destitute areas.
Yes, the Maasai are people for many years, long about 700 years ago, more than that. The story of Maasai, they come from parts south of Egypt, in the following River Nile, and passing Sudan, Tanzania, and Kenya. And they speak only one Maasai language. Maasai of Kenya and Tanzania speaking one language. And sometimes they're passing by shortcut ways to go to meeting the others from Kenya, and the other Maasai of Kenya, they meet others by foot, and sometimes traveling to take luggages, to use donkeys for travelings. And we've been here in this area for a long time, because I was born at Ngorongoro Crater since 1965, and I still living there till to 1973. The government says we don't allow Maasai to live in the crater. Better we leave the crater to be the national park. And that's why we moved from the crater, and we're building any places around here, because all the land here, the Maasai lives, no other tribes. Because when we moved in 1973, we lost many things like cows. There are so many dying, because many cows, they stay in the crater for a long time, and there's no place up there. And when they're climbing up here, we lost a number of many cows and people, but we don't counting them because we don't know what we would go to get it. You try to say, maybe you talk to some of the member of the parliaments, and some of them, they say we can do this and this, but nothing to do. So we lost it really a number of cows, many, and people also. But we've been there and we stayed till to 1980. A little bit we start getting cows and collecting and buying, and we start getting many cows now. Yeah. I took the Maasai from the crater to leave the crater to be the park there. But this crater is a land of the Maasai also, yes.
Unaweza kusema nini juu ya ufukuzwaji wa nguvu wa Maasai kwenye maeneo ambayo wamekuwa wakiishi kiasili na toka zamani? Kama Ngorongoro walifukuzwa, kama Mkomazi. Unaweza kusema nini?
Naweza tu kusema kwamba maeneo yale yalikuwa ni ya kwetu kwa zamani. Tukakaa muda mrefu bila matatizo, lakini baadaye tukashtukia serikali inasema kwamba wafugaji waondoke katika sehemu hizo, hasa kwa mfano kama Mkomazi, maana hiyo ndio sehemu ambayo ni jirani yetu sisi, na watu wa kule wale ni watu wangu ambao wanakaa kule, ambao sasa hivi katika muundo huo wa uongozi wangu wa jamii, huko ndio sehemu yangu nyingine. Ngorongoro ni sehemu ya wenzetu ambao wa Arusha, ambayo kuna machifu huko kama Laibon. Kwa hiyo nasemea hiyo kwa sababu hiyo najua, kwa sababu wale watu walikuwa wanakaa kule, sasa hivi wamehama, wote wamekuja sehemu hizi za huko. Wamezidi kuongeza kolamu ya wafugaji huko.
We don't get an amount of money for the tourists visiting Ngorongoro. But I think nowadays, they have a little 10% of the money with the gates. They have to run from the district councils. So we're here, but we don't get see those money. But I hear by people, some people they says that now they get a little bit about 10% of this money running to the district councils. As we get money from the tourists which have visited this village, and they come and pay here. So we get this money and we share all of them the money in the village, because we are 87 living in this village. So we get visitors visit here, and we charge them, because we're charging, one car $50 for one car, and some tourists they taking pictures as much as they want and see inside of the houses and everything. So those money we get, and we collect the money per day, and we share everybody to show that here everybody get this money for buying food, clothes, medicine from cows, and to keep other money to help children in school also. And if someone be sick too much in this village, this money will help him to take to the hospitals and so on. Yeah, so that's the money we get from it.
Familia, kwa mfano ile familia mlivyokuwa mnakaga pamoja, mna nini pamoja, watu wengine wameenda Dar es Salaam na wengine wamekwenda kwamba kazi za kulinda na wameacha wake zao, yani kwa mfano ndo anauliza sasa imeathiri vipi nadhani?
Sasa imeathiri kwa sababu watu sasa hivi wamesambaratika. Watu wamesambaratika tu, wengine wameacha watoto kwa sababu hawana kitu. Kwa hiyo kweli kuna matatizo mengi tu ambayo yamejitokeza, kwa sababu wengine wanasema wanaenda Dar es Salaam wanaacha mama na watoto kama wanawatelekeza, kwa sababu hawana uwezo wa kuwasaidia. Wanahangaika huko, wengine wanaacha huko. Kweli kuna mambo mengi tu ambayo yametokeza. Wakati ule walikuwa hawana matatizo kama hayo, na huko Ngorongoro ni hivyo hivyo. Ndugu zetu, kwa sababu Wamasai ni si wote kwa ujumla, huko vile vile wamewasumbua sana. Tunasema huko afadhali kidogo kuliko sisi huko, tunapata shida sana. Kwa sababu kule kuna ndugu zetu kidogo wamesoma wasaidia kuliko huko upande wetu sisi. Na sio huko tu, hata sehemu za huko Morogoro. Sehemu moja tu Kiduhi, mkoa wa Morogoro vile vile wamenyang'anywa ardhi. Kiduhi. Sehemu kuna kama ekari fulani nyingi tu wamenyang'anywa Wamasai ardhi. Kwa kule kwa sasa hivi wafugaji au Wamasai, wafugaji wanafuga hawana ardhi. Sasa mashamba yanabana, na wanachoangalia ni mashamba, waangalie ng'ombe.
Soon it's going to be history.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to learn about them without having to see them.
Yes.
Came in the around 1884. First the missionary came in, and then they start coming in big numbers. Like in most parts of the world, colonialism, it's always preceded by missionaries and Christianization and stuff like that. So the whites when came in, they also became more. They were more sophisticated than the blacks, the pastoralists, and then the agriculturalists. So they took over some land belonging to, which was dispossessed from the original owners, and then they took over. They converted this land into farmland, and some other areas were declared as game reserves. So most affected groups are the Bushmen, or commonly known as the San, the people who are living in the, for example, the Etosha Game Reserve, that is 500 kilometers north of here. These type of San, they are called Haikom. They continue to claim ancestral, to claim Etosha Game Reserve as their own ancestral land. They are even more disadvantaged because the government is trying to create ecotourism, game reserves, and the richer people are camping of areas for game and eco-hunting and things like that. Another group is in Western Caprivi. These are called the Kwe. There are two subgroups there, the Kwe and then the Ku. The Ku, they are originally from Angola. But then their homeland, which is Western Caprivi, has also been declared as a game reserve. That's the area between Kongola and the Kavango rivers. That is a game reserve, really. Then we come to another group called the Topnars. The Topnars are now finding themselves in the Quisamond Valley. It's an area between Swakopmund and Walvis Bay to the coast. Their original land is now is ecotourism as well, Skeleton Coast. That's where they were moved from to the Quisamond Valley. There are other groups, the Haikum, for example, whose Etosha Game Reserve is the ancestral land. They are now being resettled on farms. They have been, in fact, living there. The colonial regime brought them there, and they continue to be there today.
The people were removed for the interest of the new settlers, so-called new settlers, who came from foreign countries, such as Europeans, German people. Those were the main groups which causes the displacement of our community. When they came, their main interest was to get a place for their settlement and to farm on the land. And our community's problem was that they doesn't have any knowledge about law, know-how, and so on. And in this time, laws has been made. You will be removed here from the game park as you are wasting the game, and etc. Those kind of things has been made, and the people has really been removed. Some of them were hunted and even brutalized. So to force them out of the area is to get the place, and it is the first place which was established here as a game park, and a very beautiful place. So the people couldn't have any power, Their chief was also kidnapped in 1886 to 1819. I am not sure which year. But after the death of the chief, the people they were in the position which we can say they lost their livelihood, Nobody to say what they have to do. And from there, the people have been scattered with those little forces, brutalized and by the German people mainly. So after they get away from the way of the people which are killing them, they tried to stay outside it is the south part and on the eastern part from the game park. So the people are now scattered there and are spread across this area, but they are just waiting for the commercial farmers. All the farms outside has also, as the laws has been made, such as commercialization of the farms, apartheid system, and those kind of laws has been made, which made it very impossible for the people to get a land for themselves. So at the end, each and every child who born as a community member of us, an Oman member, so you have to stay in black stores always in Namibia. We must have a lot or even a consistent area into the Kemba as our ancestors' land, and outside must there be a communal land as others have. Our demands has been listened and left there, nothing has been done. So that is many problems we are finding. And that is how the community has lost their land. Without no compensation, There was no discussion which said, we want to put you on this side because we want to do here what and like this. As we know, it was in colonial era and it was worse. We have no right to farm with the cattle into game parks. Therefore, a land must be made available for the people. That is what we have demanded and on which we are discussing with the government. Only then the problem will be solved.
These are the people who have been, we can say, deprived of their livelihood by the colonialists to give way to so-called human development. And that's the problem, and they continue. Now what the problem is now that they have left, they were made to leave. They have not really left, but they were forced to leave their hunter and gatherer status to come to the so-called modern way of life. But they have not reached this modern way of life, and they have left their own way of living. So they are somewhere in between. It's a very dangerous, very delicate problem. And they have been speaking, nobody pays attention to it.
National Park is 360 square kilometers. We have many animals like leopard, elephant, antelope, bongo, monkeys, squirrels, duikers.
Has any revenue from the park really helped the community people?
I have a youth organization, okay? And when I came here, they were planning to, demonstrate, here. So I just got close to them and I asked them, and then they poured their grievances to me. And some of their grievances or some of their problems was that, they are not more comfortable with the NGOs working here. They are not more comfortable with the NGO. And then we asked them why. They said that, they had a contract or had an agreement with the NGO that building schools for them, they will be employing most of the community people, to work in here and all that. And those promises have not, according to them, those promises have not yet been delivered. It's a conservation area, alright. So they are not allowed to come. The community is not. None of them is allowed to come into the forest, to take in anything. They're not allowed to take in anything. And some of them said that, they were dependent on the forest. They were dependent for their livelihood. They were coming in the forest and coming in for, to hunt animals as food, as a good source of protein. And also they were also, logging or cutting down the trees for firewood. Firewood to cook their food. But their life basically was dependent on the forest. Okay, but that has been deprived from them. So their basic livelihood, their basic source of revenue or income has been deprived from them. They don't have any source of life. They don't have any form of living. Okay, and they got arrested when they come into the forest, and they don't think that's fair. According to them, they don't think that's fair for them because their forefathers were coming. Their great-grandparents were coming in here for their livelihood, for revenue, for food and everything. But hey, they are not deprived. They are not getting anything from the forest. They also manage to farm. Do their small farming and all that, plant some crops and all that. At the end of the day, the elephants, as I said, there are more than 250 elephants. By head count, elephants in the forest. At the end of the day, these elephants will come into their farm and destroy their crops and eat out their food, their harvest and all that. So at the end of the day, they don't have anything. And when they're coming here to complain to, they don't give them anything. Okay, so they are aggrieved and they want something to be done.
Nothing has done for them. Only one community that they have built a school, that is the village around this area, only. And nothing else has been done to any of them.
A government tour guide working here. I know that some of them are paid as much as 600,000 cedis. That's Ghanaian cedis. It's not a lot of money to be frank with you, because 600 Ghanaian thousand cedis a month, and that is less than $100 a month.
Is to conserve this forest here. So what we are doing in order to success or to reach this objective is to involve people around the park here in order to conserve or protect this forest here. So people around the park here, we involve them to conserve or protect the forest by giving them some material for their development or for their daily needs. For example, we have constructed a boardwalk there. The money which are collected from the boardwalk is directly going to the community around the park here. Some of them is going to the people who have the roads around the park where our animals destroying their crops. Some is going to the village themselves for their daily development, because sometimes they construct school, they put some water, electricity, so some they're going there. This also is going to the community around the park here and other villages. This is special for fuel wood, so we are raising this and giving community around the park for their own farms. People around the park here, they make their local material. They brought here and they sell to the visitor who are coming here. We are selling for them, and then the money collected there, they going back to the community around the park here. Also, donation box there. People donate there, and this money collected for this community around the park here. So we are going together with community in order to succeed or to reach our objective of conserving this forest here.
zemsha